I do find it weird that there wasn't even something as basic as like a tweet or like an Instagram story to just like announce that Volpe got surgery and they let a reporter get to it first.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. He's Brian McKeon. We're both lifelong Yankee fans, and we've been hosting this show together for 2 regular seasons. Although our postseason was shorter this year than it was last year.
Yeah, tragic.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app, so download the app today. On today's show, there's a haunted hotel in Milwaukee. I heard about this years ago, but it seems that MLB teams do not like staying there. We're going to talk about that in segment 3. I'm going to talk about the deluge of fake articles online that people are falling for. And I warned you guys about this last year, or maybe even in the beginning of the year when things were happening in the off season, but we're going to talk about it more. And what's the other thing we're talking about? Oh, right. Anthony Volpe had shoulder surgery, which wasn't a shock because we found out, after months of them not saying anything, that he had a shoulder injury, and this was a possibility, but he did go through the surgery, although it was first reported by Joel Sherman and not released by the Yankees first.
Yeah, I find this very peculiar. The fact that the Yankees didn't make a comment on him is really weird. Now, they haven't posted anything to their social media since thanking their fans, that, obligatory every team
Thank
in
you,
sports when the
fans,
season ends
for
has to
a
deal.
great 2025.
Yeah, thank you for spending $13 on a hot dog this year, all that kind of stuff. So there is that. I do find it weird that there wasn't even something as basic as like a tweet or like an Instagram story to just like announce that Volpe got surgery and they let a reporter get to it first.
Maybe Yankees PR is on vacation. Maybe they decided to give those guys off because
maybe
the Yankees aren't playing anymore.
Yeah, very odd though. I also find it odd that a bigger name player on the roster being named Aaron Judge, clearly and is known is injured, and there's got to be something done about his shoulder during the offseason. We don't know what it's going to be yet. Elbow, yeah.
He's elbow.
Yeah. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but obviously something's going to go on. There's going to be more testing. There's going to be some type of procedure that happens because the guy couldn't throw the ball more than 40 feet at full force towards the end of the year. So you give us an update on Volpe before the postseason even ends, before we get to the World Series even, but Judge, there's no update. It just feels like this is conveniently done. And like the Yankees knew that Joel Sherman doesn't have a personal relationship with Anthony Volpe. And even if he did, the Yankees could tell Anthony Volpe, hey, we're not telling anyone about the surgery yet, so just leave it alone for a second. And because of HIPAA laws, Joel Sherman would not have been able to report anything. Even if he somehow found out through back channels, it would have been illegal to report something. So I find it the Yankees okayed this news getting out on Volpe. I find it very peculiar that the Anthony Volpe news gets out before we get through the CS, but an update on Aaron Judge isn't given. Now, he could be going through more testing. Who knows? I find the timing to be very odd here.
Do you think, and we'll talk about this in segment 2, do you think that maybe they'll reveal what's happening with Judge in their end of the season press conference that's happening later today?
But then why not Volpe too at that time?
Right. Why wouldn't they wait? Right.
Yeah, to me, this feels like we want to release this very early in the offseason. So once spring training comes and Volpe is our starting shortstop, like we plan on it happening, no one can say anything because we can hide behind, oh, he needed surgery. He was hurt all year. He had something going on. And that, to me, it just feels like a little bit of a safety net they're giving Anthony for no reason, by the way. I don't know why. Like, why are we protecting? I know he's a homegrown player and you want him to succeed. Trust me, every Yankee fan wants him to succeed too. But protecting him for what cause, I'm not sure. That's very confusing to me. But Stacey, I'm having trouble with this one because I gotta be honest. I mean, yeah, we want an update on all players now they're doing injury wise, but where's my Garrett Cole update? I want to know how his arm's doing. Like, where is he at recovery wise? Is he on track for opening day? Because some guys come back earlier than others. Is he on track for opening day? Or are we looking more towards late May, early June? Who knows? Where are we on the Aaron Judge thing? How does that look? Is he gonna go for surgery? Is he not? If Aaron Judge needs surgery, I hope he gets it yesterday.
Right.
Because I hope then it means he's back.
I hope
sooner.
he got it the day after he went to the Rangers game with Rizzo.
Exactly. Why wasn't he in a sling during that game? Like, you need little things here that I want answers to, and I didn't necessarily think that Anthony Volpe's shoulder would be the first thing that I got an answer to after we knew that was hurt all year. It just feels like they're announcing this to give him a little bit of a safety net after how he played all year.
Right. And it's also going to be the excuse as to why he didn't play well all year. But then why are you trotting him out there while he's injured, which is something that the Yankees do? Also, why wouldn't you let us know? Why would you wait until September 7th to tell us that this kid got injured May 3rd and it was affecting him all season, and that he had to have a cortisone shot around the All-Star break, then he had to have another cortisone shot in September, which is when we all found out that, oh man, he really messed his shoulder up.
And if he messed his shoulder up, that's fine. But why are we forcing him to play through it in May?
Right.
That's not that. Like, the Yankees, this was not a scrappy little
Oswaldo
team that
Cabrera was still playing then. He hadn't hurt his ankle yet, right?
Yeah.
You still had Oswald Peraza there that could have filled in for Volpe. It's not like he had to play. There were two guys who could have played in his place. They could have shifted Jazz, because Jazz, I think, was still playing third base at that point in early third. Mm-hmm. They could have early May 3rd. They could have shuffled the infield around, had him sit out for a bit. They didn't have to make him play. I just feel like this is a detriment to him because it ruined his entire season. He was awful.
Yes.
Awful.
No other words. Yeah.
And I don't understand why this team does this, as they did it with the aforementioned Rizzo. Now, it's also partly Rizzo's fault because he didn't let them know exactly how he was feeling, but the man hit his head. And because of that, it ended his career early. He wouldn't be retired right now if he didn't hit his head into Fernando Tatis Jr.'s leg.
Oh, him. I'll add another one too. Clint Frazier was the same thing.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same thing. This just feels like we're protecting a player for no reason. And by the way, this isn't some scrappy little team that like was a fringe postseason team going in. Like, I'll be real with you. If this were Roman Anthony and the Red Sox were a game or so out of a playoff spot, and they were like, hey, can you play through it? And Roman Anthony was like, I can try. And they kept him out there and it was the wrong call. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it because they're trying to get themselves into the postseason and they kind of are acknowledging, hey, we're not getting in without this guy playing at his top level. I get that. The Yankees were probably a playoff team without Volpe in the lineup. I mean, not probably, they were, because what did Volpe contribute anyway?
Right.
So I don't understand. And they knew that prior. This was a $300 million payroll team that knew it was a postseason team. Anthony Volpe wasn't making or breaking them making the playoffs this year. So to me, at that point, why would you not have a young player get the surgery he needs? Prior. I don't understand why you would do that. You would do this after the season. The season was not riding. I understand doing it with Aaron Judge.
Of course.
The season was not riding or dying on Anthony Volpe's bat being in the lineup, especially this year. But I don't get it, Stacey.
It's really strange. I really hope that someone brings this up in the end of the season press conference that they're having later today at the stadium, because I need to know what their thinking was. Because as I said, there were options already. Before they even got Jose Caballero, there were options. And who knows if Volpe goes down and you have either Peraza or Cabrera playing there. Maybe Cabrera doesn't hurt his leg in Seattle. Like,
oh yeah,
there are things that happened after that maybe wouldn't have happened. Then again, they might not have traded for Jose Caballero, but that's a whole other thing. But there were a whole different things that could have happened if Volpe had just gotten, because
they could have been more aggressive at the trade deadline. They could have tried to
the
make
shoulder
a different
was
trade.
but the labrum was torn. Or well, this one is the left one. I don't understand.
Well, that's the
this
difference
team.
too. So let's discuss that too, because it was the non-throwing arm,
right,
in the labrum. So I get how that can affect the swing. So I understand that. I'm not excusing him hitting like 120 over the last 2 months of the season. I'm not excusing that. But if they're going to use that as the excuse, totally fine. I get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to do with his fielding.
No.
Nothing. And
No.
his fielding was all-time bad this year also. Like, I think that's going to be a little bit forgotten in the Anthony Volpe saga of 2025. How bad his hitting was is going to be a topic for sure. What needs to be discussed more is how atrocious his fielding was after being a Gold Glover a few years ago.
Right.
So, like, that needs to be brought up too. And this is his non-throwing shoulder. So it should, and a very, very, very large majority of his errors this year were throwing mistakes.
Right.
He got to a lot of balls, but a lot of them were throws that were off first base, over the first baseman's head, in the dirt, you name it.
Yeah.
And let's be honest too, a Shore Glove and Goldschmidt saved him about 3 or 4 errors this year too.
Oh, at least.
Exactly.
Even Rice saved him a couple of times.
And that's the point that I want to make here is let's not use the let's keep in mind it's the non-throwing shoulder that he got hurt on. This is not the throwing shoulder where you can use that as an excuse. And I do wonder if Boone or Cashman try to use that as a fielding excuse tomorrow. I don't want to hear it when it comes to fielding. You want to use it as a hitting excuse? Do I agree with it? No. But will they use it and probably get away with it? Yes. I really hope a reporter that's there tomorrow calls them on the carpet if they try to use it as a fielding excuse, because it should have nothing to do with his fielding.
So that's why he played, because it was his non-throwing shoulder. And they thought that he could get away with his non-throwing shoulder because it would only really, because he bats righty, I guess, right? But it's still, it's a torn labrum.
I understand.
Get that thing
batting
fixed.
righty I do get because it's your front shoulder, so you're a little more protective over it, and you are leaning more with that shoulder. I do understand how it could. Again, I don't think it's excusable to be hitting as low as he did. And honestly, when they saw him struggling the way that he struggled, they should have pulled him and said, all right, you're clearly too hurt. This is not you as a player.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they're going to more than likely use the labrum as an excuse for the hitting. And they're going to have a pass there. I don't agree with it, but they're going to be able to use that. I'm really hoping that Brian Hoke, you name reporter, calls them out if they try to use it as an excuse for the fielding, because that should not be an excuse for the fielding. And I have a feeling they're going to use it as an excuse, though.
Yeah, we will find that out later today.
Because quarterbacks play with it all the time.
Right.
In their opposite arm. Because quarterbacks get tackled on their opposite side, have a 300-pound lineman land on their shoulder, tear the labrum in their non-throwing arm. But as long as the throwing arm is good, they're out there throwing. So I don't want to hear the excuse that if Matt Stafford can throw about 40 yards on a dime with a torn labrum in the other arm, Anthony Volpe can make a 90-foot throw to first base. Sorry.
All right, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club for the listeners of the show. The link is in our description. If you are on YouTube, here is your QR code for you to click on. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to everything that happens in the regular season, the postseason, and the offseason. You also get top priority on Fan Mail Friday. During the season, we send out the lineups every day, any roster moves and breaking news, so you don't have to check social media all the time. We also have a private Discord where you can commiserate during games, and people are doing that during the playoffs. Even though the Yankees aren't in there, there's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we have to talk about the absolute flooding of sham baseball articles in our Google searches, because this is now becoming a problem. So we're going to talk about that next.
Guys, good news. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer for you that you are not going to want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, I love using FanDuel because it gives me so many ways that I can bet. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even followed the live lines during the games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little juice routing on the action. And whether you're a casual fan or you love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Stacey, if you frequent social media like a lot of us do, I'm sure you've noticed the frequent upswing in false reporting. Just AI, I don't know, whatever it is, people getting a kick out of it, out of doing it on themselves, have decided to just take over and release things that are just not true. And it's got you riled up, I'd say. So have the floor.
Well, this is why I'm riled up. If you don't know who I am, and you probably don't because I'm not a famous person, but I did write for certain places on the internet. I wrote for Baseball Prospectus. I had a few things go up at ESPN. I wrote for FanRag Sports. I wrote for Beyond the Box Score on SB Nation. I wrote for a bunch of different places. And it's hard for me to get a writing gig because there are so many of these sham websites that are putting out awful content that people are falling for. And personally, it offends me as a former writer because I don't like seeing this at all, because I would never put anything like this out, ever.
Mhm.
And I was scrolling through my Google app on my phone, and I have an iPhone. So I click on the Google app, and because of the algorithm, I have workout articles, I have fashion articles, but I also have baseball articles. And this popped up in my feed on Tuesday. It says Anthony Rizzo signs back with the New York Yankees. It's from some place called TWSN Sports. So I, of course, rolled my eyes when I saw this because I thought, well, no one's signing during a postseason. That's not going to happen. Anthony Rizzo retired a few weeks ago, so that's not happening. And I opened the article, and it's a whole spiel about Rizzo. And then about halfway through, it says, this is a prediction, not fact. People aren't going to go through half of the article. They're going to look at that headline and send it out to their friends. Wow, look at this, without really checking it. And I'm here to say, you have to check this. I'm going to tell you right now, if you look in your Google feed and you see anything from Sporting News, Newsweek, or this TWSN place, oh, and there's another one, maybe heavy.com also, because they sometimes put out articles like this. But any articles that you see where it says so-and-so is predicted to go here, it's not a real thing. They are taking content from other people, either on blogs or on podcasts, who say things, predicting things like, oh, I think so-and-so is going to sign here. They turn it into an article. They turn the headline into something that you think is real. You have to be careful.
It's upsetting. Yeah. I get screenshots from friends every day of, oh my God, look what happened. He's going here. And I'm like, that's not accurate. Like, wait till I tell people, honestly, don't believe it until you see it from Passan, Sherman, like someone who's a legitimate credited source on baseball.
Here's the list that I want you to. Okay. So you said it. Passan, Joel Sherman, Locked On Yankees guest John Heyman, because he's usually right about that stuff too. And Jack Curry. Jack Curry is in on what the Yankees are doing.
Yes. Jack Curry is always right on when it comes to Yankee stuff.
Because Sporting News is not what it used to be. Newsday is not what it used to be. They got bought by.
What it used to be.
Right. Yeah. They got bought by venture capitalist places, like just, it's about the money. They're not putting out real content. It's what do they call it? Content farming, basically. Yeah. Right.
It's gotten really bad too, because this isn't even just in the sports world, Stacey. Like,
right.
You're seeing it. Like I love rock music. I'm a big enthusiast of that, and I see it all the time. I saw one today. Phil Collins. Phil Collin leaves Def Leppard. And I'm like, really? After 40 years, their guitar player is just quitting the band. Like
right before a Las Vegas residency.
Right before a Las Vegas residency, he's done. Like stuff like that. I saw one the other day that John Bon Jovi was going on a solo tour. Like but stuff that has no credence whatsoever, not remotely factual, is all of a sudden just getting reported out there. It's really frustrating. Yeah. I actually didn't know. The other day, I'm sure you saw that Rush is getting back together, and I actually thought it was a fake report.
Oh yes, because they're doing it to honor Neil Peart, right?
Yeah, and it's like a 50th anniversary kind of thing, and everything. And they're doing like 13 shows across the United States. That is real, by the way. If you're a Rush fan, so damn cool that you get to finally like see
my mom actually wants to see them, which I thought was really cool. I was like, I didn't know.
I'll try and afford a ticket, but yeah, so do I. But I actually, when I saw this report online, actually thought it was fake.
Right.
I was
like, there's so much stuff that's out that's fake.
Yeah, and I so it's
actually there was another one, an insider on, I want to say it was Friday or Saturday, said, "Is this true?" And it said that Paul Goldschmidt was definitely retiring, and that wasn't true, but it was being passed around on Facebook. Don't ever trust anything you see on Facebook, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of it's going on Facebook, though. A lot of it's on Facebook. It's upsetting because you don't know where to trust when it comes to sports news nowadays. And rest assured that all the news that we report on here is like vetted 1,000 times by me and Stacey.
We get it from legitimate sources. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Brian
so you're not
Hoke,
gonna hear fake stuff. Yeah.
Brian Hoke, Joel Sherman, John Heyman, Jeff Passan, Jack Curry. Who's the other one? I'm trying to think. Oh, Eric Boland of Newsday.
Yeah.
Gary Phillips of the Daily News, right? And who's another guy from the Post? Greg Joyce. He's another one.
Yeah.
Those people.
There are that group of like 10 is like the certified baseball guys that are getting it right, and they're not reporting stuff unless they're like 1,000% confident in their reporting. So I wouldn't be concerned about that. This news I want to get to too. Later on today, was the time announced? I don't know if it was. I think it might have been 2 p.m.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. There is going to be a press conference with Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman from Yankee Stadium. Full disclosure before you all get excited and start jumping in your seats. There is no expectation that this press conference is being used to announce anything of worth.
No. It's the end of the season press conference. So they're basically going to go through 2025. That's all
what happened. There'll be reporters there to ask questions. The two of them are going to give Dancy bull responses on what happened. They're going to say that we're pursuing a championship as we always have. They're going to give you some wraparound excuses that they've given you every single year. I don't think there's going to be anything of value. Me and Stacey will both listen, watch it, where we will consume it, however, and we will report to you on what happens in it. But I'm not expecting anything of value to come out of this, to be quite honest with you.
I'm not either. I'm kind of not looking forward to it because I'm assuming I'm going to just get angry when I watch it.
I do find doing it during the season, like the Yankees are trying to get everything out of the way right now, but like while the playoffs are still going on. Usually this stuff waits until the World Series is over, but yeah. Which, by the way, thanks Yankees, but we could have used the content in like November.
Right? Yes. Right.
Yeah, like
this would be
it's us now.
Yeah. Like now we're this would have been great for like November 8th.
Yeah, when we needed the content, but sure.
When we're sitting there going, and now for November 8th, who knows what we're going to talk about?
Just don't let it frustrate you if you're a fan of if you want one of them gone, don't go into this expecting that. You're not.
That's not happening. Yeah, no. They're not going to both be there and be like, all right, I'm leaving. That's not going to happen.
I mean, listen, Christmas could come early, but it rarely does.
Quick programming note. We are still 5 days a week, and we will be 5 days a week through the winter meetings. Then we will drop down to 3 days a week for our off season. And then around February 1st, we'll be back to 5 days a week. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. So even though it's only October 16th, while you're watching this or listening to this, you still got us for 5 days a week for at least almost 2 months. So aren't you excited?
Kaye.
Are you excited, Brian? Say you're excited.
I'm very excited. So excited.
All right, coming up. There's a haunted hotel in Milwaukee, and baseball players don't like staying there, and I don't blame them. And we're going to talk about that next.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Every day we make decisions, but on PrizePicks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Playing PrizePicks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and you're in the game. Now, I love how quick it is. You can make your lineup in just under a minute. And my favorite part is how PrizePicks just added the stacks feature. So if you want to ride with a player, you can select their pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, all available in one lineup. And the new injury reboot feature. If your player leaves early and doesn't return, it won't count against you. Plus, there is a new max discount available. From October 13th to October 21st, you can take Steph Curry anytime for over half a point. Pretty solid. I love how those odds are. There's a special max discount promotion on the board. Again, Golden State Warriors versus LA Lakers game on October 21st. Steph Curry is discounted to only need more than a half a point to win. How can you not get involved in this? Mix and match players from football, basketball, and baseball. You can build your dream lineup today. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. In the spirit of Halloween and ghouls being around and scary stuff being around, there is a hotel in Milwaukee. Now, you said you have heard of this before. I had heard of a city with a haunted hotel in sports before, but I wasn't aware of like this actually affecting player travel stuff yet.
Oh yeah.
The Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's been around since 1891, and multiple players have reported spooky things going on. Now, I would say this: look up the pictures online for yourself. It's Pfister. It does look like a haunted hotel. Like 1000% from the outside looks like a very typical haunted hotel. So I am kind of shocked that teams stay here, because more often than not, like I know a few weeks ago, because I work in the city, and a few weeks ago at the Intercontinental, Inter Miami was staying there. And when I was getting to work, because we're right next to the Intercontinental, there were just a million people flooding the street with Inter Miami jerseys on and stuff. So more often than not, they're staying at the Ritz-Carlton, Intercontinentals, those kind of like top tier level hotels, not the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee. Well, apparently it became an issue this week because multiple Dodgers players refused to stay in the hotel, and apparently actually were very close to just getting their own hotel rooms on their own at another hotel, which Major League Baseball doesn't allow because they have to have their own security and everything like that available with them. So the Dodgers did step forward and get the players their own hotel in a separate hotel. But now you have this issue of players on the Dodgers staying in separate hotels. So when they have team meetings in usually the conference center in these hotels, they had to meet somewhere. It was a whole mess, apparently. Mookie Betts was the one who led the charge. He refuses to stay there. He says that he struggles to sleep in that hotel. He can't fall asleep for some reason. And when they got to the hotel and Teoscar Hernandez realized that Mookie Betts wasn't staying there, he now, monkey see, monkey do, didn't want to stay there. And then other Dodgers jumped on and they also didn't want to stay there. So they went to the same hotel that Mookie was going to. Teoscar blamed it on his wife too. Did you see this?
Oh yeah.
Teoscar Hernandez said, oh no, I didn't care about the spooky stuff. Didn't bother me. My wife didn't want to stay there and she's on the trip with us. So that was the problem. All right, Teoscar, we'll play along. So when he was asked post game, Teoscar Hernandez confirmed to the reporter that he does not believe in ghosts, but his wife wanted to stay at a different hotel, so that's why he did that. Just letting you know. Other notable things: Bryce Harper claimed that he woke up one night while staying in this hotel with the Phillies, and his clothing was moved from one side of the room to the other side of the room. That is kind of creepy. Many players said they have trouble sleeping. Lots said they hear footsteps in the hallway outside while they're at nighttime. Others claim that while they're asleep in their bed, the bathroom lights will flicker, will turn on, turn off. Giancarlo Stanton said the room that he had a lot of old paintings and curtains hanging up, which gave it like a haunted house kind of feel. He compared it to the Disneyland ride, the Haunted Mansion. And Stanton said, quote, apparently Stanton works out at the ballpark when they play in Milwaukee. Like he gets to the ballpark extra early to work out. And the reason is, quote, the less time I'm there, the better. So the Dodgers did announce that if they have to go back to Milwaukee for this series, they are going to look into staying at another hotel as a team, which is a good thing, I guess, about to do this. Weird stuff, right? Do you believe in this?
I do. My friend had a ghost in her house.
Okay. So
I witnessed some weird stuff during a sleepover.
Yeah, I've yet to have an experience with the paranormal. I'm sure that tonight is going to be my first night now that I said that. Yeah, but I've yet to have something like that happen to me, especially in like I think it would creep me out more if it was in a hotel.
I think so too. Yeah.
Right.
This
especially
being her house. It was a friendly ghost. It wasn't a scary ghost. It was a friendly ghost. It was someone who lived in the house before them who died in the house, and then her parents bought the house. And
yeah.
I
don't know. I don't like the sound of this though, and I feel like if the players want to stay somewhere else, just move them somewhere else. Like they'll find rooms,
but just not the Ramada in Milwaukee, because Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter did not like the Ramada in Milwaukee when George Costanza booked them there.
Which is funny about that whole thing too, because after the CBA in 2004, all teams need to stay in at minimum of 4-star hotel.
Nice.
So 4 or 5 stars. They can't stay lower than that. Which I don't know of many Ramadas that are 5-star hotels. Maybe I'm sure there is a few, but not most of them are not.
I stayed at a Ramada in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and
that might have been a 4 or 5-star resort. Okay, because
it-
a lot of the all-inclusives are like I'm sure there's a Ramada all-inclusive somewhere.
It wasn't all inclusive, and it wasn't that great. We had to switch rooms because of a bug issue, and bugs in the Virgin Islands are the size of small kittens. So,
oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I'd love to. Would you stay in this hotel given the opportunity?
I would actually, because I'd want to see what was going on.
I think it would get in my head. Like I think like seeing the old like I would let it get to me. Seeing the old curtains, the old.
Plus, I love the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. I didn't go to the one in Disneyland, but it's the same.
But I know that's fake.
Yeah,
I know that's fake.
I got stuck in that thing for 45 minutes one time. It was amazing because it was the part. If you guys have been to Disney World, it's the part of the ride almost near the end where the car turns around and you're on your back, leaning back. And my brother and I were stuck leaning back like that for 45 minutes. And all the stuff kept popping up every, 15 seconds because it thought the cars were going through. So the ride was still going on without the cars moving. So it was actually a lot of fun. They didn't turn the lights on. They just kept us there while they were figuring out what was wrong with the ride. And then it finally started moving. It was at least 45 minutes. I don't know because this was 1987 and I wasn't wearing a watch, but it was a long time. It's a very long time.
I will say this. If the Brewers come back in this series, full credit to the Pfister Hotel.
Yeah, if the Brewers come back and they have to go back to Milwaukee, they have to make it so the Dodgers stay there.
Right? if they were savvy, they would book up like every room in the 4- and 5-star hotels there. The Dodgers have no option.
And they'd have to be forced to stay.
That would be great. That's just gamesmanship.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
All right, well, thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. For your second listen, find the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, until a World Series champion is crowned. Maybe it won't be the Dodgers. Maybe they'll get so spooked at that hotel that they won't be able to play. Yeah, you never know. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.